Hello, my name is Maya Kile. I, along with my colleague, Dr. Natalie Ellis, would like to present the quality of work environments for early childhood educators' well-being from an interdisciplinary approach as part of the video presentations for the Architecture, Media, Politics, Society Parade Conference regarding experiential design and the rethinking relations between people, objects, and environments. This presentation is a result of a collaborative study which included researchers from interior design, Dr. Ellis and myself, instructional leadership and academic curriculum, Dr. Kyung-Ah Kwong and graduate research assistant Adrienne Malik, physical therapist Dr. Ken Randall, and educational leadership and policy studies Dr. Timothy Ford. Early care and education workforce have recently faced significant and complicated challenges varying from a shortage of qualified teachers and high teacher turnover, low wages, and low classroom quality to increased job demand and stress. To provide positive care and high-quality learning experiences for children, teachers not only need to have appropriate training and skills, but must also be physically and psychologically healthy. However, recent studies raise concerns about physical and psychological health risks among early care and education teachers. Although researchers have recently begun to pay attention to early childhood teachers' psychological well-being, few studies address the issues of their physical health and well-being. There is also limited research focusing on potential predictors and consequences of early childhood teachers' well-being. In particular, how the quality of the physical environment impacts teachers' well-being has not been explored in the current literature. A comprehensive and interdisciplinary approach is required to fully understand the multifaceted nature of teachers' well-being and address these complicated challenges in the workforce. Approximately 2 million adults care for about 10 million children aged birth to 5 in the United States. To address this high demand in early care and education field, and to provide high-quality learning experiences for children, teachers not only need to have appropriate educational training and skills, but also must be physically and psychologically healthy. An area which receives little attention is the physical well-being and environmental quality which these educators are expected to work. This interdisciplinary research takes a holistic approach to understanding and addressing complex workforce issues by integrating data, techniques, tools, perspectives, and concepts of well-being from the specialized professions of early childhood education, physical therapy, interior design, and public health. The study provides in-depth understanding of the phenomena centered on early care and education teachers' well-being. Distinguished by both qualitative and quantitative methods, concurrent triangulation was used to confirm, cross-validate, and corroborate findings from data that was collected in 2 stages. Stage 1, data was obtained through surveys and health assessments of 262 teachers in 38 centers on their background, well-being, and workplace support. From this group, 40 teachers from 10 centers were randomly selected to participate in Stage 2, which consisted of direct observation, assessment of physical tasks and environment, collection of environmental data, and individual interviews with teachers and administrators about their well-being and needed support. The data revealed numerous concerns related to teachers' well-being and factors that may attribute to unhealthy work behaviors and psychological well-being of the teachers. This presentation highlights valuable outcomes and insights from the study, which propose to facilitate the support of early care education teachers' well-being and improve the quality of their work environment, which may lead to improved health and happiness of teachers. My colleague, Dr. Natalie Ellis, will now discuss the Environmental Preference Index.
The EPI, or the Environmental Preference Index, is an index that was designed to measure environmental preferences for a person working in a built interior setting. The tool seeks to contribute as a resource point for bridging client needs and is a design practitioner's ability to meet these needs effectively through a collaborative experience. The API was designed to measure the environmental preferences for a worker in their workspace and to create alignment for all people in the design space. The original constructs considered physical setting, furniture, control, culture, and amenities. The Happy Teacher project amended the index by choosing 3 of the 4 primary constructs, combining the constructs of physical environment and culture into one. Additionally, the construct of amenities was revised to allow for the understanding of operational policies and their impact on teachers. The physical facility construct studies the physical spaces and the idea that the built environment is congruent with the center's mission and culture. The furniture construct considers that there is furniture to accommodate all people and that the furniture provides for congruent task alignment. Control reflects on the ways that light, noise, smells, air can be controlled by those responsible for their surroundings. And then finally, the operations construct contemplates the means in which the center is easy to navigate and that there are clear understandings of operations and responsibilities. In phase 1, the teachers filled out a paper and pencil survey describing their work conditions, health and well-being, and the center's physical conditions, along with providing their preference and assessment for the different EPI constructs. During phase 2, there were observations made from the perspective of the researcher, interior design practitioners. Often the facilities accommodated the adult teacher's personal needs, but in many cases, these areas were minimal, far away from a classroom and serving to accommodate the building's life safety code requirements. Often, while the teachers didn't see a problem with the present provisions or strategies, the interior design practitioner observed low provisions, as evidenced with the 2 largest variations in this group of personal belongings storage and areas for relaxing and planning. While there were a few occasions that there were seating and furniture elements that accommodated adults in the classrooms, these were rare cases. Additionally, furniture for relaxing and planning was often cluttered and serving multiple purposes. Most often, teachers sat on furniture scaled for infants and toddlers, or simply sat on the floor. All rooms that were observed had their own independent light switching. However, the switches were set to turn on all lights or turn all lights off. The teachers created their own lighting scenes to accommodate nap time and other needs, with various ideas and provided elements such as light strings or small lamps, and in some cases, even turning off all the lights altogether. Teachers in some facilities were asked to do double time with their teaching duties, such as in the case of laundry or nap time preparation. The operational subscale was often easy to observe, but if this wasn't the case, further consideration was then placed into the separate focus group conversations held later. Overall, the teachers considered their environment in a more positive light than did the outside researcher, interior design practitioners. The largest variance was found to be in the constructs of the physical facility and the furniture, were more congruent in the observation and the phase 1 data collection were held in the constructs of control and of operations. as means to suggest ways that we can begin to consider altering the environments as an outcome of this study and future work, was that we can cease using children's furniture for adults and provide teachers in the classroom adaptable furniture with height adjustable tables that can be used for teachers and children. And then demonstrating here with this chair, providing ergonomic feature seating for the teachers. Additionally, other ideas for altering the environment were to introduce alternative forms of light control. We can begin to adapt classroom lighting scenarios from single switching to dimmer control switches or even lights on dimmable ballast systems for new construction. With these thoughts discussed, I would like to now turn the presentation over to my colleague, Maya Kile.
When considering the indoor environmental quality, on average, people spend more than 90% of their time indoors. The quality of the indoor environment is in direct relation to the health and well-being of those who occupy the space. The indoor environmental quality considers many factors such as daylighting, pollutants, humidity, temperature, and acoustics when determining what meets a quality environment. As registered interior design practitioners, we take indoor environmental quality serious. On an ethical level, the spaces we design should support the health, safety, and welfare of the occupants who use the space. What does this mean for teachers? Poor indoor environmental quality can lead to sick building syndrome and may result in headaches, throat and eye irritation, decrease in productivity, increase in absenteeism, and diminished worker satisfaction. For this study, we measured lighting levels and quality, air temperature and humidity, and sound levels. Lighting is an important component in the built environment. Research has shown that quality lighting improves worker productivity and an increase in performance offsets the cost of the lighting system. In this study, we took light meter readings at 2 different times in the morning during regular school activities and at nap time to determine if the lighting levels fell within the recommended brightness levels set by the Illuminating Engineering Society. What we discovered was while the mean levels fell within the recommended level ranges, there were extreme low and high levels in independent classrooms. The next environmental considerations examine sound. 25 to 30% of what is said in classrooms are not clearly understood by students are related to acoustics. Prolonged exposure to loud sounds and certain noises can cause stress, raised blood pressure, and heart rate. Research shows that even intermittent exposure to loud noises can lead to higher stress hormone levels and hypertension. Measurements were taken again in the morning and at nap time. Our study found the sound levels exceeded the recommended levels for classroom settings according to the American National Standard Acoustical Performance Criteria. In some cases, the noise levels were as high as a busy street and alarm clock or a noisy restaurant hair dryers. The next area of our study deals with temperature and humidity. Temperature and relative humidity measurements are often collected as part of an indoor environmental quality investigation because these parameters affect the perception of comfort in an indoor environment. The perception of thermal comfort is related to one's metabolic heat production, the transfer of heat to the environment, the physiological adjustments, and body temperature. Heat transfers from the body to the environment is influenced by factors such as temperature, humidity, air movement, personal activities, and clothing. This study monitored temperature and humidity levels and found that most classrooms fell within the recommended levels for temperature and humidity. However, the Center for Disease Control recommends humidity levels no greater than 50%, as mold can grow within this environment. This may also cause upper respiratory issues. The study was conducted during a 1-month duration in which the weather was temperate. A longer study is needed to capture summer and winter months to gain a full assessment of the conditions across the year. Another important aspect of our study, which was coordinated by Dr. Ken Randall, considered the physical health of the early care educators. The Phase 1 data collection consisted of questionnaires and health assessments to determine the body mass index and the cardiorespiratory fitness. In Phase 1, 262 teachers were given a step test, which was a 3-minute test requiring a 12-inch step. Participants stepped up and down to a metronome set at a beat of 96 beats per minute. Tests lasted for 3 minutes unless the participants stopped before them. Heart rate was taken at 5 to 10 seconds at the conclusion of the test and compared to the established norms based on age and gender, which places the person into a fitness classification. In Phase 2, 41 teachers were observed. Pictures were taken from the first 5 different activities observed. These pictures were analyzed using the Rapid Entire Body Assessment, also known as REBA, which is an ergonomic evaluation that takes into account all body parts, such as the trunk, legs, necks, shoulders, arms, and wrists. The study supported our hypothesis that teachers undergo considerable amount of physical strain due to occupational requirements. Prevalence of musculoskeletal pain from survey data shows 52% reported back pain. Manual handling tasks show strong evidence for low back pain. Stooping causes maximal contraction of lower back musculature, which is associated with lower back pain. Prevalence of musculoskeletal pain from survey data shows 66% of teachers have some musculoskeletal pain related to activities. 55% reported headaches and 28% reported neck pain. Most headaches of musculoskeletal origin, also known as tension headaches, indicated in red, and some instances of neck pain are related to the head-forward posture. The conclusions of our ergonomic analysis and fitness assessments shows that teachers are constantly moving from one activity to another throughout their day. They're adjusting to working with tiny humans and furniture and furnishings that typically are designed for these small people. No correlation between activities and survey items related to musculoskeletal pain, likely due to the high variability of activities. If we could measure frequency of activities, we posit correlations will be noted. Early childhood educators are athletes, and we should establish programs that treat them as such. Our surveys tell us that half are below average fitness. Established conditioning programs for their sport will help. Teaching and reinforcing safe movement, such as body mechanics, will also help and make necessary environmental adjustments and additions to support their needs. The consequences of poor teacher well-being are numerous, which is evident in the slide. Our study found that a substantial number of early care educator teachers experience physical and psychological well-being related issues, and their work environment is not always supportive. Our conceptual models are mostly supported by our data, as workplace supports are associated with all 3 aspects of teachers' well-being. In particular, workplace supports are directly and indirectly associated with early childhood teachers' professional well-being via its links to psychological well-being. Our study also found that psychological well-being is directly associated with professional well-being, while physical well-being is indirectly associated with professional well-being via its links to psychological well-being. These findings suggest improving early childhood teachers' well-being and highlight the importance of multiple aspects of workplace supports for teachers' well-being. The outcomes of this study propose to facilitate the support of early care educator teachers' well-being and improve the quality of their work environment, which may lead to improved health and happiness of teachers. The children are our future, and making sure that they have the best care through the support of their educators is of utmost importance. Addressing these issues is a global challenge, but one that should be considered. On behalf of the research team, we thank you for the opportunity to share our study. Any questions can be directed to myself at mkile@ou.edu. We would also like to acknowledge that this project was funded by the Early Childhood Education Institute, the Office of the Vice President for Research at OU, and the Associate Vice President of Academic Affairs at OU Tulsa. We appreciate their support, and we are thankful for our partner schools and participants.